Welcome to FCPS All-Stars. Our special guest today is Melissa Lococo, English Language Arts teacher at Hillcrest Elementary School. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I am glad. I'm excited to have you here too.
Thank you.
Many students upon graduating college are really nervous and concerned about getting a new job. Myself included, I wondered if I was going to have a job. But I understand that you had a little different experience when you graduated college.
I did, and you know what? I was nervous. I won't lie. I was definitely nervous, but I think because I was so nervous, it really drove me. And it drove me in a sense where I was making sure I had my resume ready to go. I had my portfolio, like leather bound. I made DVDs of my portfolio of things I could do. And as soon as I found out my now husband was moving to Maryland, I was like, well, I guess I got to go too. So I really applied everywhere in Maryland. And although I went to school at Edinboro University, which is a small school up in Erie, PA, I made sure I mailed off my resume, and on weekends when I could, I'd drive up to Maryland and personally hand deliver my resumes. And I was calling central office all the time and saying, do you have any positions open? Because I'm really interested. And so through a lot of my communication and a lot of outreach, I got a call right before I graduated.
Oh.
It was a week before I graduated, and they said, we'd like to offer you a subbing job at Frederick County Public Schools.
Okay.
And I said, absolutely, I'm in. So they said, when can you be here? And I said, well, I haven't graduated yet. You have to give me one more week. I have to graduate. And they said, okay, well, as soon as you graduate, we need you to come down because we want you to start that following Monday.
Wow.
So I said, okay, well, I'm up in Erie, PA, so as soon as I can, I'll be down. So I remember very distinctly walking across the stage at Edinboro University and thinking, oh my goodness, like my whole world is about to change. Immediately. So as I'm walking across the stage, my car is loaded down, ready to go with all of my stuff. And I, said, of course, goodbye to my family, and they wished me well. And I made the trip down to Frederick, Maryland, quickly unpacked all of my things, and I came to this very building and had my orientation, and the rest is history. And then after a week of day-to-day subbing, they called and they said, we want to offer you a long-term sub position.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was fast, it was furious, and it was definitely worth it.
Well, hard work and persistence really did pay off for you.
It certainly did. It did.
Now, why did you want to become a teacher?
For me, I was that student that hid in the back of the classroom. I never made eye contact with my teacher, especially in elementary school. Yes, and it was because I knew I couldn't read. I knew I couldn't write, and I knew I couldn't compute and do math problems like the rest of my peers. And for me, I thought, there's got to be something more. A kid not wanting to go to school isn't a good thing.
Right.
And so all through elementary school, I continued to kind of hide the fact that I didn't know what I was doing. And then once I finally got to middle school, I started to realize, you know what, this isn't so bad. But then there was a middle school and high school teachers that I had that said, you know what, you can do this. And I said, I know I can't. I can't read. I'm not good at writing. It's not my thing. And he said, but it is. And so after a couple years of having really strong teachers who believed in me and that were really my champions, they really fought for me and they really pushed me when I was like, I can't do it. They said, no, you can. And so finding those teachers that really believed in me and really pushed me and saw that I had talent, that is what made me realize, you know what, I need to do this. I need to be someone else's champion. I want to change another child's life the way that mine was changed.
That's an amazing story.
It really is. And and now that I am a teacher, I see a lot of students that were just like me. And so for me, I'm now able to make those personal connections with some of my students that say, Mrs. Lococo, I can't read. And I said, no, maybe today it's hard, but tomorrow might be different. And so really letting them know that, we all learn at different rates, we all struggle at different times.
Right.
And letting them know that I believe in you, I know you can do it, and I'm going to continue to challenge you even though it's hard, because one day it's not going to be hard for you.
Now, is there something special that worked for you that maybe you're able to pass along to other students to help them in their struggle?
For me, growing up, instruction was a lot of just, you get it from the teacher and you're supposed to go back to your seat and know how to do it. And I just couldn't learn that way. I needed to learn and be hands-on. I needed to hear things kind of state it in a different way. I needed things more simplified. And so for
Okay.
me, my instruction, I want it to be student-centered. I want my students to be the ones leading my instruction. And based off of their needs is how I adjust my instruction to make them feel comfortable. And really for me, teaching is all about having my students experience the success in the classroom and then amping up the level, making it a little harder, and then continuing so that they feel that success. But if a student never feels success in your classroom, that's whenever their demeanor really starts to go down and they don't want to be there. So it's really important for me to really build up that success in my students and help them identify what are their strengths, because everyone's good at something.
That's right. Now, for someone who didn't like learning, who moved into the role of teacher, you have another pastime now. That's a little interesting.
I do, and it's so funny because I never would have thought that would have been my career path and my own personal goals. But since I've graduated in December 2012 of my undergrad, I actually haven't stopped taking a class since then.
Oh my gosh. So you are either a glutton for punishment or you're a lifelong learner now.
I am a lifelong learner. It's kind of become an addiction. I love learning, and I want to be able to give my students the best and most up-to-date education. And as we know, education is changing every single day.
Right.
And we're really, in fact, educating our students for a future that doesn't even yet exist. So for me, staying up on my knowledge and showing them that I'm a learner and I expect you to be a learner as well is really kind of a passion we share together in my journey in the classroom. So I currently have my degree in leadership education to become an administrator is my overall goal one day, so that I can help inspire and teach other teachers and really be a part of the bigger goal in a school. And I'm currently working on my reading specialist degree right now.
Awesome.
Because reading was my biggest struggle, and so now it's really become my biggest passion of how to help students learn to read, how to help students decode, how to help students comprehend, and really helping them just understand that it doesn't have to be hard.
So aside from all the learning and teaching that you're doing, what else do you like to do for fun?
Well, when I'm not at work or when I'm not learning about work, my favorite things to do are to craft. I love to make wreaths. I love to garden. And of course, I love spending time with my husband. My husband and I were actually high school sweethearts. We met in high school. And it's just him and I here in Maryland. All of our family still is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we recently just had our first son. And
what's his name?
His name is Samuel. And Samuel is almost 4 months old now. So returning back to work from maternity leave was much smoother than I ever thought it would be.
Wow, okay.
And you know, it just has to do with our great staff that we have at Hillcrest Elementary. And they were just so supportive. And as soon as my students saw me, I realized my heart can be in two places. My heart can be at home. My heart is also at school with all of my students.
Well, I like to craft too. So tell me about some of your favorite projects. You mentioned wreaths.
Yes, I love to make all types of holiday wreaths, seasonal wreaths. That's really my favorite thing. I'm sort of that person that can get lost in Hobby Lobby and Michael's and leave with spending all kinds of money and have a cart full of stuff. And my husband's like, "What are you going to make with that?" And I'm like, "You'll see, you'll see." But I think my greatest adventure so far has been preparing my son's nursery. Once we found out that he was a boy, we were so excited to do his nursery, and so interior design is like my second passion aside from learning and working. So we went ahead and we did an entire palette wall in his room, and we picked 5 different stained the wood, we cut the wood, and we kind of puzzled it together on his wall, and it really became our favorite project in our house.
That sounds really neat, and like something that you will have and that he will enjoy for a lifetime.
Absolutely. It was really a fun project to do together. It was a great bonding experience, and it tells a story now for our little boy.
Now, you mentioned that's your second passion. Does that also transition into your classroom?
Yes, in my classroom, when you walk in there, I really try to make it a warm, loving environment, because children learn in a space that feels almost like home to them, like their second home. So I really try to put a lot of work into my bulletin boards. I try to have really bright, fun, and exciting things in my classroom. And one of my favorite projects that I made was an author stool that I have in my classroom. And that kind of goes back to me as a child never being proud of my own work. And so for me, watching my students be proud of their work, it brings me so much happiness. So a way that they share their work is they come up and they sit on the author stool, and it's painted and it has my name on it and it says author stool, and they know that's their special place in my classroom where they feel proud. They can go and they sit there and they share with everyone. And it's not about having work that is at grade level. It's not about having work that is above and beyond. It's about work that is above and beyond for that student.
Okay.
It's about it being their very best, because at the end of the day, as long as a student has done their very best, that's the best they can give. And so that stool is really a special place where they come, they can share their work, they can be proud of their work, and they can be on the spotlight.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
You are so welcome. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Certainly. And thank you for joining us too. Stay tuned for our next episode, and in the meantime, don't forget to shine on.